Hi everyone, Robert here, and welcome to the review of TNA Impact Wrestling from March 16, 2017. The show opened up with a video package showing the controversy last week between Alberto El Patron and the Walking Armageddon Bobby Lashley. So Alberto El Rio came to the ring and he did the opening promo saying, hey, I might have won the title by some bogus way, but I want to make it right this time around. And he called out Lashley. He wants to fight Bobby Lashley. But instead of Bobby Lashley, EC3 came along. And they ended up fighting each other. And that set up a match later today. EC3 versus Alberto El Patron. The winner will be facing Bobby Lashley for the Impact Wrestling Heavyweight title. Next, we got a backstage segment with Bruce Prichard and Dutch Mantel and Simon Diamond. They were talking about the tag team situation since the Broken Hotties left TNA Impact Wrestling. And they say, hey, DK have the titles, but they are not the rightful owners. Therefore, what will we do about it? And Bruce Prichard came along and said, hey, I have a plan for this. Wait for me. I'm going to announce it in the ring, but I have a plan. Next, we see a video package showing the history between Eli Drake and Tyrus, which led to our first match of the night. Laredo Kid and Garza Jr. versus Eli Drake and Tyrus. This was basically a showcase match for the Mexican, and they did their usual stuff, Simon Soul, Suicide Dive, all their good stuff. And at the end we saw Eli Drake calling Tyrus for help, but Tyrus was distracted with something, and Garza Jr. was able to do the small package on Eli Drake. This was not something bad, but I rather see Tyrus take the pin. At the end of the match, this is kind of something notable. We saw Eli Drake throwing Garza and Laredo Kid out of the ring, kind of beating them up, doing the usual babyface cleaning of the house routine, but he didn't receive any cheers, which led me to fear what is gonna happen with Eli Drake. Is his alliance with Tyrus taking that much away from him that people don't want to share from him? I don't know. Hopefully they reserve all of this and Tyrus turn heel, Eli Drake turn face, and they could have a little short feud, and then we could have a Eli Drake push, babyface push. But this was not a good sign at all. Seeing Eli Drake doing his babyface offense, but getting the silent treatment. This was not good at all. Next, second match of the night. Casey Quinn versus Brandy Rhodes. But the match never happens because Cody came along with his GFW title and say, hey, I don't want you fighting Brandy. You are not ready. That's it. And Casey, go ahead and take $45. This is $25 of what Impact was gonna pay you anywhere. So go ahead and leave my ring. I don't want no match. None of that shit. So the match did not happen. And after that, Rosemary came to the ring from the back and ended up attacking Casey Quinn. Therefore, we may have a future feud in our hands. And in a note, Casey is hot as hell. Third match of the night. Alberto El Patron versus EC3, Ethan Carter III. First match between them ever, as far as we know. And at the end of the match, we saw EC3 hitting a couple of TK3, but he didn't came from the cover. He went ahead and grabbed a chair, but he got cold feet and decided not to use them. But instead, Del Rio was able to super kick him in the face and put a cross arm breaker. And EC3 was fighting for the ropes, but he didn't make it. Therefore, he tapped out, and Alberto El Patron wins, and he's the number one contender. And this is the first time that EC3 taps on TNA Impact Wrestling. On Impact Wrestling no more. This was a good match, solid match for TV. This was not bad at all. But kind of seeing Eli Drake and EC3 jobbing in the same night is not a good taste for me at all. Especially for those guys who are the ultimate backbone of TNA Impact Wrestling. Hopefully, I'm not overstating anything, and they could do something with EC3 along the lines. But I didn't like the ending. I would have rather have seen a no contest. But it is what it is. Alberto El Patron won over EC3. Next, we got Reno Scum doing a backstage segment, doing their usual punk rock stuff and saying that they are the combination of athleticism and violence, and they are gonna become the World Tag Team Champion. Next, we saw EC3 flipping out with the parking garage, all pissed off because he didn't want to tap, and Bruce Prichard came and talked to him and said, hey, calm down. And they were tired to talk to him and trying to calm him down, so that segment was cut there. X Division 4-way match. The returning Suicide versus Andrew Everett versus Braxton Stutter versus Trevor Lee. This was a fun match, kind of that multiple wreck type of match. We saw a ultimate super Tower of Doom that looked amazing. And at the end of the match, we saw Laredo Van Ness coming from the public to talk to Andrew Everett and Allen, looking like some hotshot hookup or something like that. She still have the wedding dress and all the makeup, but it is what it is, right? And at the end, we saw Trevor Lee winning the whole thing, so he's still remaining the champions, all that stuff. And hopefully we could see Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett one-on-one in one of the next couple of weeks. Whoever was playing Suicide is still not there, because kind of the Suicide character used to be less selling and more faster and more fun. This one is more kind of boring, to be honest. As for Suicide, let's talk about Suicide for a second, because there are people who say, hey, this just represents a failed video game and blah blah blah. I don't know why TNA is obsessed with that, but as I see Suicide should be to TNA what Tiger Mask is to New Japan Pro Wrestling. So you have someone who you truly believe, you want to see him do better, you see him as an exhibition talent, but that can be a future heavyweight champion, and you make him Suicide. So the person who do that, do it under some type of pride, just like Tiger Mask. Eddie Guerrero was one of the Tiger Mask. I think Suicide, that gimmick should be the equivalent to New Japan Pro Wrestling Tiger Mask. After the match, Sienna came to the ring with the mic and caught a promo on Allen and Braxton's daughter, saying their Romeo and Julieta story is about to be over, and she is 10 times worse than Maria. She's gonna get Allen. The ending segment. Bruce Prichard. He came to the ring and said, hey, the titles are won in the ring, not in some space and some other entities or aliens or anything like that. Wrestling titles are won in a wrestling ring. And said that in 2 weeks we will have a tag team tournament to crown the new Impact Wrestling Tag Team Champion. DK came to the ring. Then Reno Scum also came to the ring and kind of caught promos on each other. Also, Garza and Laredo came and talked and did a promo and started to brawl with each other until the returning LAX, the Latin American Exchange, made their way to the ring. And they ended up beating everyone up, including Rosemary. And after they beat them, they put the Mexican flag, the Cuban flag, and the Puerto Rican flag on top of their opponent. And they say, hey, we are part of the tournament. Therefore, we have our 4 teams: LAX, DK, Garza and Laredo, and Reno Scum. As for my final and overall rating upon the show, I don't think this was a bad show, but this show in general was kind of hurt by the spoilers being out there. If this was live and LAX would have made their return live, that would have been crazy. The internet would be fucking crazy because that Kimmy was truly over in the Impact Zone in 2006. The original LAX with Kona, not Mexican American, none of the other crap they tried to redo. Also, EC3 versus El Patron was solid, and the exhibition match was kind of there. A lot of cool spot, but I'd rather have sometimes a one-on-one or a 3-way dance, not 4-way type of match every single week. I think that is too much. I think it is they should change that pace. 1 week 4-way, another week 2-on-2, something like that. But this was not a back show, but this show was hurt big time by the spoilers being out there. But they are beefing up the tag team division. At the end of the year, we only have the Broken Hotties and DK, and now we have 4 legit tag teams that can go in the ring and do their own thing with their own unique character. And that is applause for TNA Impact Wrestling. This is all I have to say for TNA, for Impact Wrestling, no more TNA. For Impact Wrestling, I hope you enjoy this video, and I will see you next time.